have to start off by saying viewer discretion is advised. There are going to be things in this video that may frighten you because they frighten me. You've been warned.
Okay, guys, I'm told that these are leaked videos and leaked images and leaked footage. Okay, guys, I'm told that these are leaked videos and leaked images and leaked footage of actual beings. Now, when you see that, you're going to say, that's crazy. There's no way that's real. And, you know, it's probably not real. But it could be. And see, this is the thing. This is why when I see this and I get sent something like this, I don't just take it lightly, because we're told that these type beings do exist and that they are amongst us. Check out this footage and tell me what you think. Yes, exactly right. I mean, a lot of people would say, hey, look, that's a gray alien. Guys, I'm not seeing the slit in the eyes, and I'm told that if these are really the other people, we'll just say that since they don't allow us to use that word, since they protect them, that they don't have those eyes like that they have the pupils. Could this possibly be the ones that, the scaly people, so to speak? Could it be real? Leave your comments. Let me know what you think. Are they amongst us? Are they shape-shifting?
Let's just entertain the thought for a second that this is leaked footage of actual aliens, actual extraterrestrials. They look scarier than I imagined. People were in the comments of this video saying, if these are indeed actual depictions of aliens, then what they're doing, leaking this footage, is trying to prepare us for the big reveal, trying to desensitize us to how they actually look so that when we do see them, we won't be nearly as afraid.
Nós não vamos parar por aí. Já estão encomendados.
Man got some alien in his throat.
Tem que pedir uma pastilha. Já estão encomendados. Estudos para eliminar. Chega, é muito. Já estão.
Whoa. Nah, that definitely sounds like that alien was trying to come out to play. Now, this is supposed to be some alleged footage of what appears to be a UFO that's kind of just hovering over the water here. Now, I would almost argue to say that whatever this object is, it could be in the water as well. But because of the distance and only because of the reflection of the trees, does it look as though it appears to be hovering over the water rather than just floating along the water. Now, I'm sure y'all are thinking the same thing that I'm thinking, which would be to debunk my own theory by stating the simple fact that there aren't any ripples in the water that's coming off this object. That doesn't necessarily mean that there isn't something in the water, right? I'm gonna skim through the video. It's relatively long, and you're pretty much seeing the same thing throughout the entirety of it. You see it switching directions, going left to right, but now you're getting it in a different mode here, which is allowing you to see even clearer that there's no ripples in the water. It almost feels as though whatever this line here that we're getting, that it appears to be beneath it, almost as in there's some energy that could be coming off of this object, if it is indeed hovering above the water, that's causing the water to appear like this. That is the idea that I would much rather go with, that this thing is indeed hovering over the water and causing whatever this is to happen. Lately, people have been sending me some of the most compelling evidence of UFOs and extraterrestrials that I have ever seen. As a matter of fact, one of my close friends sent me something that he filmed himself, and it's like nothing that I've ever seen before. Let's watch. All right, now here is the footage in question. Did y'all see that? Look over here to the top right of this building. You see a clear glitch in the sky. Like, he believes that this was like a cloaking of a UFO or UAP in the sky, and whatever that is, it's there. It's not no flashing light off the lens of his camera, because as he zooms in, the object appears to be bigger. Whatever that is happening. It could also be ball lightning possibly, but there definitely is something there. That is so crazy looking. And you can also see it kind of as it kind of progressively gets stronger and brighter. You see some of the reflection from it hitting the building, like illuminating the building over here. We saw that? You saw that big old flash of light? Crazy.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way I'm looking at this. Look. Look. It's in my kitchen. It is 12:45 at night. I'm sitting here on my couch. And this thing, look at it. It's moving around. I am tripping. What the flip? It's turning off all my stuff in the house. Hold up. Look at that. It's floating around. All my lights are turning off in the house. Yo, this is crazy. All right, so my lights are back on, and here comes this thing again. Look. It's like ball lightning or a ghost or something. I am tripping.
What the comments have to say about this video. This first one here says, I'm not worried about the ball lightning, bro. Who is outside the window? Wait, hold on. There was somebody outside the window. Let's go back. Hey. Oh, wow. Hold on. Immediately, you see eyes in the window. That could be freaking whatever they create this ball of light inside this man's house. He didn't notice. Look at them bright eyes. Look at that. Y'all, this clip is crazy because this looks real. This looks so real. You get the reflection of this light illuminating in the way that you think it would in this entire room. Hitting the floor, hitting the windows, the roof. This is, I don't know, man. This is trippy. This person right here with over 600 likes on their comment says, let me explain. First, you have a dark entity trying to enter your house, which is standing at your window on the outside. The white ball is an angel manifesting itself using a lot of energy to show the demon outside that you are protected. This house is protected and it is not welcome inside your home. Nobody is claiming, from what I see, that this is fake. Everyone is saying that this looks like this could be a spirit that's protecting you from an evil entity or spirit that's hanging outside the window. But what do you guys think?
Y grabando el valle, vaya para abajo, miren lo que lo encontramos, un ovni, un objeto que brilla ya no identificado. Puede que sea el día de la independencia, diría, weón, la quedan la cagada, que se van a enfrentar, weón. O será Goku, weón, que está haciendo la Genkidama, weón. Mira, weón. Vamos a darle todo el aumento por los 126 de...
Wow.
Mira, 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 Cali, cómo se ve aquí en la pantalla. Ven a ver, culeo, mira cómo se ve aquí en la pantalla. Es un triángulo, weón, mira. Ah, claro que sí. Es un triángulo, weón, mira.
Sácale una foto,
¿Qué
weón,
weón?
estoy grabando.
No sé, pues, weón.
Estoy grabando, sácale una foto.
Estoy grabando, weón. Mira, mira.
Está como en alto, sí, la wea, pues.
Sí, pues, weón.
That's crazy.
Come el hielo, vos, weón. Estoy enfermo de la guata.
Oh, la weón.
I am fully convinced that the clip in question here is 1,000,000% real. It would take someone months to CGI a piece of footage like this that's even just a minute and a half long. I believe that this is real footage capturing what I do not know. You see the shape of this thing. It's almost like a organic sort of rectangular type of shape, and they zoom in on it, and it's just energy. It's just energy emitting, and who knows what it is. It seems to be hovering in one place. You don't see any sort of propulsion system that is keeping it above the ground. This thing is just in one place and not moving. Not even the wind can make this thing budge. I don't know what to make of this. This is fascinating.
So official, y'all, the UFO project has started. They have sworn into court yesterday and said that there is life outside of the universe or world we know, and they have proof of it. Let's go. So yeah, 4 men from the U.S. government have determined that they have found proof of life on another planet, and this includes, according to what I looked into, technology. So technology that other entities or creatures or whatever, you have aliens, whatever, right, have, that we have access to. So basically they have sworn into court. This is as of yesterday. And they're going to be going over all of the information and stuff. All I want is the evidence. I want evidence. I want to see the UFO crash site. I want to see everything. So I will keep y'all updated on this. I'm really excited about this. It's kind of stuff I really like talking about anyway. But yeah, I can't wait to see all the, like, hopefully we get to see some good stuff. Hopefully they have at least something we can use to prove that these exist, because we've all been known there's aliens, right? I mean, we have, right? I have.
You can't hear the audio too well in the video, so I'm just going to do the talking myself. The guy's saying, I don't know what that is in the sky. And you see these 2 red objects kind of just sitting up here, not moving. You can't hear anything coming from them. What in the world? Y'all, something is coming. Something is about to happen. I feel it in my soul.
This is gonna keep you up while you sleep tonight. The hollow moon theory. Our moon really doesn't make sense when you look at the facts. Like, it shouldn't exist. The moon is about 25% of Earth's size, the biggest moon to planet ratio of our entire solar system. Pluto is not a planet, that doesn't count. That's 72 times larger than the expected average moon to planet ratio of our solar system. Moons are just not supposed to be this big relative to their home planet, but sure, maybe we got lucky. Despite this, the moon is only 1% of Earth's mass. 1%. Meaning it is way lighter than it's expected to be, and we really don't even know why. Unless, of course, the moon is either extremely porous like a sponge or a hollow shell. When looking at this data, NASA's own Dr. Gordon McDonald even said himself it would seem that the moon is more like a hollow than a homogeneous sphere. But oh, that's just the tip, and we ain't stopping. Our moon's orbit is way closer than that of any of the other over 400 moons in our solar system, and also has a near perfectly circular orbital path. We don't see this on any other planet, which all have moons with wildly eccentric orbits. Our moon also coincidentally appears as the exact same size as the sun in our sky. Despite our sun having a diameter 400 times larger than the moon just so happens to be exactly 400 times closer to us, defying all odds of randomness, but is officially deemed just a cosmic coincidence. The moon also happens to be tidally locked with our planet, meaning its rotational period is the same as its orbital period around the Earth, which is why the same side is always facing us. This one is not so much a coincidence, as tidally locked moons are actually fairly common in our solar system. But it would also be the perfect excuse for the moon to always look the same in our sky, and for us to never see what's on the other side, like an all-seeing eye that never ceases surveillance of our planet. We don't even know for sure how our moon even got there in the first place. The most common explanation is that the early Earth collided with a massive protoplanet called Theia about 4.5 billion years ago, which was thought to be roughly the size of Mars, and the impact caused the resulting debris to coalesce and eventually form the moon. This is known as the giant impact theory. There's also the fission hypothesis, where an early molten Earth was spinning so fast that a part of it got ejected out into space and became the moon. The capture theory, implying the moon just drifted by Earth and was captured by its gravity. And the accretion theory, suggesting that as the early Earth was forming in its accretion disk, a part of that disk clumped together to become the moon. But when studying rock samples from the surface of the moon, we find out that none of these theories quite make any sense, with other NASA scientists like Dr. Robin Brett further quoted as saying, "It seems much easier to explain the non-existence presence of the moon than its existence. Like on Earth, the newest rocks are on the surface, and the deeper we go, the older the rocks get, as we would naturally expect to be the case. On the moon, it's the other way around. Soil samples from the moon confirm that older rocks are on the surface, and they get younger the deeper we go. The only time we ever see this inverse relationship of rock layer depth to rock age on Earth is through human interaction, like drilling, digging holes, and boring tunnels. Did the same thing happen on the moon? If the moon was hollowed out from the inside, this older inner rock would be brought up to the surface, and this observation would make sense. The lunar crust is also thinner on the side of the moon facing the Earth and thicker on the dark side of the moon, and researchers still have no idea why. The moon doesn't have a magnetic field, much the same as other planets' moons, but strangely, moon rock samples are strongly magnetized. Craters on the moon are all virtually the same depth, no matter how big or small they are. On Earth, bigger craters naturally go much deeper than smaller ones, as the impact was greater. Not on the moon, almost like there's a solid layer underneath preventing the crater from going too deep. Moon rocks are also much older than the oldest rocks on Earth by millions of years, blowing the fission hypothesis and accretion theory out of the water. The moon contains traces of uranium-236, a radioactive isotope that doesn't occur naturally on Earth, but rather through the highly complicated scientific process of nuclear fission, something that only an intelligent species is capable of. Zirconium, chromium, and titanium are all relatively rare Earth metals, but are somehow quite abundant on the moon. Those three elements are also some of the most durable and corrosive resistant that we know of, perfect for building a massive structure. And they've even done quantifiable experiments that tell us that's exactly what the moon might be. When Apollo 12 was leaving the moon's orbit, they intentionally dropped their lunar lander down to the surface. When it crashed, seismic measurements showed that the moon reverberated and rang like a bell for an hour. They did not expect this. Only hollow objects are expected to reverb like this, especially with something as small as a lunar lander. During Apollo 13, they tested that again with a much larger object, dropping a spent Saturn V booster rocket that impacted the lunar surface. This time, the moon rang for 3 hours, with vibrations going as deep as 32 kilometers beneath the surface, and even got faster the deeper they got. This doesn't happen on Earth, or even solid objects for that matter, and again is only expected to occur on something hollow.
Yo, that's some of the most fascinating stuff I've ever heard about the moon. I've never even questioned the moon, how it came to, how long it's been around, could it be hollow or not? The fact that the craters on the surface of the moon aren't that deep compared to what a crater would be relative to the object that collided with Earth. Like this is what? Man, that was good. That was really fascinating.
Fucking UFO, because there ain't no goddamn airplane.
Who's that? Whatever that little dot is moving.
It's a UFO, Billy. Tell me something I know. Because the star is next to it. The star over there.
I missed it.
It's letting some kind of fumes out. That's a UFO, dog. Get the out of here.
Whatever it is, it got a whole...
It's letting some out. You don't see the cloud around it? I'm about to get out of it. UFO, boy. How is that I'm seeing them not? See that shit moving through the sky? That's why they stopped.
Now it's gone.
What the hell was that?
Now it's gone.
It disappeared behind the clouds.
When people see sightings like this, a lot of them jump to the conclusion that, oh, this is simply SpaceX. Nah, it's SpaceX. Well, I've seen the SpaceX rocket launch off, and it looked nothing like this. It looked like what you think a rocket would look like, a normal rocket. But when you have these objects here that are emitting some sort of energy or aura off of them, or dissipating from that energy or it makes you question, is this a rocket or what? Because this object here is moving a lot slower. These people are able to park, get out their vehicle and everything, and still see this object appear to be the same size until it completely disappears. Either behind the cloud, like he said, or just in the freaking atmosphere somewhere. Because, yeah, this doesn't exhibit anything like what I have seen, witnessed with my own two eyes.
What the hell is that? I'm filming it. No, it's a lot. There's like a whole bunch of things over there. Son blancos and they're glowing. know, they're like, what the
This is something that has become more and more common as of lately, which is these cluster of lights that don't appear to be exhibiting the same sort of light flickering that you would see or typically see from drones. I'm not entirely sure what to make of them. So I ask you, what do you guys think?
This is crazy. Guys, this is crazy. Does anybody know what's happening? Do you guys know? This is crazy. Guys, this is crazy. Does anybody know what's happening? Do you guys know? Holy crap. Holy crap, it's like a light show. It's all over the place. This is out of control. This is crazy. This is crazy. Oh my gosh. What is happening? Am I going out of my mind, or are all the stars moving? This is the coolest thing. This is the coolest thing.
She is close enough in proximity to whatever these things are to where she should be able to determine whether or not if they're drones. They don't appear to be drones. For one, these things seem to be flying low enough to where if they were drones, you would be able to hear them, because man, drones are loud. You should be able to hear this many of them if they're all in this close proximity to one another, if they are indeed drones, but that don't seem to be the case. She said the stars are moving. So it doesn't look like lights coming from a flying object to her. Man, fascinating stuff. What?
I don't know what the fuck light that is in the sky. This nigga talk about it's an alien. Look, it's another one. Look, it's a second one. It just popped up out of nowhere.
Because it's alien. Now, come on.
Man, nah, I need to make sure I get this. Motherfucker need to see this.
Aliens do what the fuck the aliens do. Not ready to talk no shit. Come on.
I'm ready to talk to them.
Look, besides, if they do come down, they ain't gonna talk to us, they're gonna talk to the military. So come on.
I love that two grown black men are standing here convinced that whatever this is 100% alien. You hear the buddy off in the distance trying to convince the guy that's filming, come on, let's go. You're like, nah, I got to get this on camera. Boy, if you don't listen to your friend and skedaddle, I swear for God.
All right, y'all, we're down here at the truck stop. You don't believe in UFOs? Look at that shit, man. UFO flying around this morning. Like, share, tag, comment, go to work, get a job, be productive.
Yo, as funny as this country man is, look, I'm on his side. This look like a freaking UFO. This is crazy, man. Look, I swear, I told y'all, between this year and next year, we're going to find out. We're going to find out the truth. Because they trying to reveal themselves. I'm still sick. I think we found where some of the aliens be going in and out of the mountains at, because if that's not a big old wide perfect rectangle, it's like just a perfect slot for a CD to go in, or should I say a UFO? That's crazy. UFO UAP sighting, Long Beach, California, May 11, 2025. Look at the what? Wait a minute. That object don't even look flyable. What's going on? How is this thing? What the? Look at what is that? It's like a flying spider. Yo, what the freak of nature? That's wild looking.
There was this large globe ball that was caught in Alaska, North America on May 4th, 2025 that this couple had seen. They They were driving on the road and they seen it floating in the sky. And all of a sudden it ended up going to the ground, rolling down.
Look at
Could
this.
this be real? Is this AI? Let me know your thoughts and comment below.
What in the world is this? Like he said, could this be AI? Hell, if it is, AI is getting ridiculous because this all looks so real. Now, it almost looked like it goes from being this almost like a black hole just hovering here, and then it transforms into this ball, right? That almost seems to be what happens here. Man, this could be real, and they could just be simply labeling it as possible AI because of how frightening this could be if it is indeed real, and we don't have any explanation as to where it could have came from. But leave your thoughts and comments down below.
Man, y'all, I don't know. Hey, look, I just got the living shit scared out of me. My dog, I couldn't get him to come in. He woo, woo, woo. I don't know. Y'all take a look at it. I was good until it started making a growling sound. Dude, I rolled. I don't know what the hell it was and don't care what it was. I'm not going back out there. I'm not playing on this one. I'm tripping.
You're tripping.
Ollie, what are you barking at? That dog was barking hard.
He ain't barking no more.
Man, it's a full moon tonight, yo. Full moon tonight. I don't know what the hell he's barking at. I have no idea. What the hell is he barking at? What the hell is that? What the fuck is that?
What?
What the fuck? What the fuck is that, y'all?
Yeah, nah, seriously, whatever the heck that is, I would run too and never go back outside at night in this area, because what? Man, I hope you dang on went home and loaded up with a 12 gauge. What the frick? Bro, it's right there. It's not like it's way back there. It's just right there. That's crazy.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
No. That thing ain't got no
This
battery.
one actually kind of looks like you. I don't see it.
The freak?
Its eyes moved. I'm serious, dude. The little figurine's eyes moved. Why are you always messing with me?
I'm not Chucky.
This needs to stop. I need help, please.
You got to go inside. I hope he gets you, because you're dumb. You're real dumb. You're real dumb. Get her. Get her.
Whoa, what the fuck, bro?
One word for this clip. Demons. Demons.
You know what actually has a dark side though? That's really popular right now?
What?
Labubus. They're kind of demonic. I think it all started because one girl, she saw like a Labubu at a vintage store, and then it was surrounded by all these candles, and she decided to take it home, right? And then she's telling like, yo, I think these things actually carry like demonic spirits, just because as soon as I placed it in my car, I almost got into a car accident, and I kept like getting sick.
The following day, my chest starts hurting. Why do I feel like there's like a tug like in my heart? Like, okay, well, today I'm on my way to the gym and I'm driving, but I was looking at my rearview mirror and I see the person coming at me. I see them coming and I'm like, in split seconds, I'm like, they're gonna hit me. And they did, they hit me.
Damn. But it was also at a thrift store, so maybe that impacted it too.
Yeah, because what if there's energy put onto it?
Yeah, I found out the guy was influenced from like Nordic folklore. The play that he got it from is called The Little Monsters.
Oh,
and
so it's based on real stories.
And the monsters actually do bad shit.
What do they do?
Accidentally do bad stuff.
At the same time that I started back collecting Pokemon cards, I had a friend that was helping me understand the new era of Pokemon card collecting, and his wife was a Labubu collector. She wanted them Labubu so bad. I was like, what is a Labubu? And she showed me. I was like, oh my God, what is this?
What I just read was so interesting. You know the Roswell incident? Well, I just came across this document called Alien Interview. So Matilda was an army nurse. She claims that this was an alien crash and bodies were recovered. She says the bodies were not biological, but also not mechanical technology. They had an electrical and nervous system that is beyond human comprehension, and they were operated by alien consciousness. Matilda states that of the bodies recovered, one still allowed its conscious to remain in the body, and it communicated with her telepathically because she was able to communicate. So this 300-page document is all about these army officers and people that want her to interview this alien. They give her questions, but then the alien's always just like, I'm not going to answer those. Let me tell you about your reality. After all of this happens, the army puts Matilda under witness protection program. They send her out of the country, and apparently she writes this as she's on her deathbed because she's like, the world needs to know now. And these interviews are so interesting. They're so interesting, especially if you take it from the perspective of like, okay, did she just make this up? Because the things they talk about, you're actually like, damn, that kind of makes sense. In one interview, the alien, whose name is A-I-R-L, Earl, but I just like to call him Earl because Earl's a great name, Earl was like, science is basically just the religion of matter. It worships matter. It goes into how dogmatic physical science is, saying it's just as extreme as religion is. And Earl says that because of the bias of scientists, it prevents observation of all phenomenon as an interactive whole. It continues that scientists pretend to observe, but they only suppose what they can see, and they call it fact. Like the blind man, a scientist cannot learn to see until he realizes that he is blind. The facts of Earth science do not include the source of creation. They include only the result or byproducts of creation. The facts of science do not include any memory of the nearly infinite past experience of existence. Like, there's so much in this document where Earl is just basically like, you guys think you're so smart, but you're so dumb. Earl also goes into the vast expansiveness of all creation and talks about the domain and the empire. Earl is from the domain. The old empire is a group that created Earth, I guess, as like a prison planet. It was wild reading it because it was like oddly similar to the early Christian Gnostics' belief about archons controlling the planet. Earl said that Earth is a ghetto planet because of an intergalactic holocaust. And then it talks about how Earth basically traps you in reincarnation and they zap your memories. It was a wild document. It's super interesting to read. If you guys are interested, I can definitely do a multi-part series. Just let me know. But I will say the answer is the same that you find everywhere. Earl was just basically like, you need to go inwards. You need to remember who you are. You need to tap into your love, tap into your power. It will all come back. This is how you overcome the memory wipe and ascend back to what you are, which is consciousness, which is observer of creation, which is divine. Whether this is legit or not legit, it's super interesting, but I do vibe with the message and I agree with it. Go inwards. The answer's in you. I love you.
He couldn't be more right. This is all very interesting. Like, for that guy to just come out and blatantly say Earth is trapping us into reincarnation, like, that is something that I believe the moment I was taught about reincarnation my sophomore year of high school. And yes, Earth is the ghettoest.
So I know that y'all would not believe this unless I showed proof and y'all actually saw it for your own eyes. So today there was an earthquake in Greece, and then you felt it in parts of Turkey and in Egypt. And it was a magnitude 6.0. You got to see it to believe it, right? But the craziest thing about this is that in the skies in Greece, after this earthquake happened, this is what appeared in the sky. I want you to look really closely because this is the same picture from a different angle. What does that look like? An angel appeared in the sky after this earthquake. A large angel, by the way. Look at that. And it's not a silhouette of nothing. It's it looks like a being with light. No clouds. It's not the sun that's doing it. It's a being. Clearly an angel, a very large one at that. So what's going on in our world today is the craziest thing that we've ever seen because the veil is thinning and Jesus is coming. We are getting to a point to where, like, to be completely honest with y'all, dude, like, none of what's happening in life makes sense to what life was like before a certain point. Like, we are literally heading towards Armageddon. We are truly heading towards the end of the world. And I would have never, like, growing up, thought that the world would be how it is today. and everyone is seeing it on the world stage. This is crazy. And prayers to anyone who was affected, lives lost. I don't think there was any lives lost or any casualties, but any property damage and things like that, because this is insane. An angel appeared after an earthquake. And then all the other signs has been happening, bro. Like, slow down.
I mean, I feel like we need angels now more than ever. And if they want to appear and let their presence be known, then by all means, let us know that you're here to help us.
Congress just got told that the U.S. is in possession of at least 4 types of non-human species at an event sponsored by the House Oversight Committee. And I happen to have one of the only copies of 4K footage from that event. How did this happen? There was a panel on understanding UAP, science, national security, and innovation. And towards the end of the science panel, Representative Eric Burleson asked this question to astrophysicist Eric Davis. Let's roll the clip.
And do you have, or can you comment on whatever species have been that have been piloting these craft? How are they large? Are they multiple species? Are they what was their size, and how many are usually on a craft?
They're typically the multiple species. People are familiar with the grays and Nordics. People have talked about reptilians and insectoids. It's not that they're reptilian or insectoid, it's that they resemble to the Pacific a reptile or insect type humanoid, because they have a head and 4 limbs and torso. So
large, small,
human size, human scale.
And are there how many are a crew?
Well, the grays I'm familiar with from investigating the crash at Corona, which is misnamed the crash of Roswell. It's not the crash of Roswell, it's the crash of Corona in Mexico. Those were grays, those are 4 foot tall. And the Nordics are typically human size, probably, I'm from 5-6 feet tall. And same with the people who mislabel reptilian and insectoid, they're roughly that height too. I haven't heard anything about anything 7 or 8 feet or 9 foot tall. Interesting. Of that nature.
So, dinner-ish. Folks, what we're going to do here for time, we're going to have the wrong guy.
Okay, so if you want to watch the full almost 4-hour event, you can watch it over at the UAP Disclosure Fund's YouTube channel. It's also broken down by panel between science, national security, and innovation. This panel was between Dr. Eric Davis, Dr. Avi Loeb from Harvard, and Rear Admiral Timothy Gallaudet for the science portion. So, who is Dr. Eric Davis? For those of you who are in the UFO community, he's been a very well-known astrophysicist and breakthrough propulsion physicist who's been associated with several of the now publicly understood UAP study programs, such as the Advanced Aerospace Weapons Systems Applications Program, AAWSAP, as well as the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, ATIP. Now, for many folks, Eric Davis's name became most widely known when the so-called Wilson Davis notes leaked online, and the Wilson Davis notes contained notes that were of a meeting between astrophysicist Eric Davis and Admiral Thomas Wilson outside the EG&G parking lot in October of 2002. And the context of the memo was Eric Davis was looking for this alleged UFO crash retrieval and reverse engineering program and was connected with Wilson, who explained to Davis the struggles that he had trying to get access to it, even as someone who, at the time, should have been granted access, but ultimately was able to find the program manager and locate the program, but was subsequently still denied full access. That Wilson Davis memo became a part of sort of more mainstream popular culture as a result of the UFO hearing in the House Intelligence Committee that was chaired by Representative Mike Gallagher in 2022, in May of 2022. At that hearing, Representative Gallagher asked the Pentagon officials who were testifying if they were familiar with this memo. Both of them denied any knowledge of it, and subsequently, Representative Gallagher had those notes added to the congressional record.
And then finally, are you aware of a document that appeared around 2019, sometimes called the Admiral Wilson Memo or EW Notes?
memo?
I am not.
You're not.
I'm not personally aware of that.
Okay. This is a document in which, again, I'm not commenting on the veracity. I was hoping you would help me with that, in which a former head of DIA claims to have had a conversation with the Dr. Eric Wilson and claims to have sort of been made aware of certain contractors or DoD programs that he tried to get fuller access to and was denied access to. So you're not aware of that?
I'm not aware, Congressman.
In my 10 seconds remaining, then I guess I just would ask, Mr. Chairman, unanimous consent to enter that memo into the record.
Without objection.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Appreciate it.
So you can go to congress.gov and read the entirety of those notes at your leisure. Now, since that House Intelligence Committee UFO hearing in 2022, there have been several attempts to get Eric Davis both into Congress and or on the record to confirm that he was in fact the author of the quote-unquote Wilson Davis memo. And it should be noted that the way in which it became public was not because it came from Eric Davis directly, but Apollo astronaut Edgar Mitchell, upon his passing, had an estate with a variety of documents in it. And one of the family members found this copy of the Wilson Davis memo and understood its value and subsequently put it online, which has now been confirmed by Eric Davis at this Understanding UAP panel, where he was asked by Representative Eric Burleson about what type of species or pilots have been recovered. And if you recall, one of the reasons why Representative Burleson is asking this question is because he just recently hired UFO whistleblower David Grush onto his personal staff as a member of the task force on the declassification of federal secrets. So David Grush is now working with Representative Burleson. He just recently got his clearance reinstated, and we're actually expecting to see David Grush go into a SCIF, a sensitive compartmented information facility, next week, potentially alongside other folks, to be able to provide more details about what David Grush testified to under oath in the July 2023 UFO hearing with the House Oversight Committee, where he spoke to the possession of non-human biologics by the U.S. government.
If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries. Yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
At this event, which was not under oath testimony from Eric Davis, he is now repeating and basically confirming the story that David Grush told at his hearing in July of 2023. And it should be noted that the chairwoman of the Federal Declassification Task Force, Representative Anna Paulina Luna, did mention at this event that she will be bringing Eric Davis back to provide his testimony under oath.
Excellent. Thank you very much, sir. Next question is going to go.
If I can real
Yes,
quick.
ma'am. Absolutely. The floor is yours.
Yeah, so thank you for you guys coming today. I have to get going, but I am charging Burleson and Burchett to be here and continue on while I am not here. But I will say that, I mean, the stuff that you guys have all told us today, mind-blowing. And I think, going on record is even more important. So we are going to invite you back to also testify at some point. But I do have to head up. So thank you so much for your time setting this up, and we'll be back. Thank you.
Thank you.
I love her. I love her.
So the key question we're going to be looking for is seeing when that next UFO hearing is going to be. And if they do call Eric Davis to testify, finally, after years of people demanding he get on the record, which would then put the likes of David Grush, Lou Elizondo, as well as Eric Davis, all having under oath testimony about their experiences and exposure to the U.S. government's alleged UFO crash retrieval and reverse engineering programs.
This is what we have been waiting for. This would be the biggest thing for the U.S. citizens, the biggest leap moving forward in regards to information about extraterrestrials and UAPs, UFOs, crash retrievals, reverse engineering, all of the above. I can't wait for this. For him to say what he said during whatever sort of meeting or hearing that was, is already a lot. He already said a lot. He confirmed some things. Man, I can't wait. I can't wait. We gonna end the video right here. Leave your thoughts, comments, and opinions down below. And I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one.